it's Josh, thanks for stopping by, and today I wanted to do a breakdown on how to make like a 30nickk or Goyxrd Pluggnb type beat. I'll be going over sound selection and drum patterns, so that should be a pretty good video. Now real quick, before we get into it, if you want to keep up with everything that I'm working on, make sure to follow me on Instagram @_JoshBay. But without further ado, let's hop into this. Alright, now I know that a good portion of Pluggnb producers use Purity as their main VST. I'm going to be using Xenology for this video. It's just personal preference, but I think both VSTs are pretty good. Now we're at 138 BPM. I will say for Pluggnb, specifically for the type that 30nickk and Goyxrd make, having a tempo between 135 and like 145 should be a good area to work in. But the first sound that I got here is the MK80 E piano, and I wanted to make the E piano sound more realistic, so I just adjusted the positions of some of the notes so you can see they're like slightly offset. And I also randomized the velocities by coming to functions, MIDI transform, and random velocity, and then you can just pick the range. In this case I did 60 to 90, but here's how that sounds. I'd say it's a relatively simple pattern. It's not overcomplicated, but it's also not too simple. The next sound we got is the Lush strings. It's probably my favorite string preset in Xenology. And typically 30nickk will just have one or two pretty extended out notes. In my case, I got 3 notes that repeat, but you can see that they're pretty close together. It's not a super complex melody where the notes are going all over the place, because you want to keep the strings pretty simple. Alright, and then I got this distorted guitar from Xenology, the distorted guitar 2. I say this in all my videos, but when I lay down my counter melodies and my lead melodies, there isn't really any special sauce. You kind of just go by ear and click notes until you have something that sounds good and fits with the rest of the chords or whatever. So that's pretty much what I did here. And it's the same idea with this lead here. And also for this lead. Finally, I got this bell from Xenology, and again, it's a counter melody, so I just went by ear for it. So yeah, that's the melody finished up. It wasn't too complicated. We only had 6 sounds, but let's move on to the drums now. So starting out with the hi-hat. In general, you want to keep the hi-hats pretty simple. From like the dozens of Pluggnb songs that I've heard 30nickk or Goyxrd produce, I pretty much never heard any other type of hi-hat roll other than the 1/16th note hi-hat roll and the 1/32nd note hi-hat roll. And then basically you'll just want to lay down a 2-step hi-hat pattern and then remove some notes to make bounce, and then you can go ahead and add your rolls, and then you got yourself a pretty bouncy hi-hat pattern. Now when it comes to the clap, sometimes I'll hear Pluggnb songs where this clap, where you'll normally think it goes, is just not there. And 30nickk and Goyxrd do like to do that quite a bit, so that's what I did here. Then where we're going to fill in all those gaps is with the percussion and snares and stuff. So here's the first snare. And then here is the second snare. And then I got a rim and a snap. And then finally a chant. And then what I did here to create some more balance is I just cut off some of the notes a little bit short. And yeah, that's all those out of the way, so we can move on to the 808, which is the last sound. Now to get the 808 pattern, all you have to do is copy over the main chords or the main melody you have. You can delete all these top notes just like that, and then right here's your 808 pattern. Of course, you'll have to chop it up a little and add a few notes here and there if you want to make it more complicated, but this is something like what you'll end up with. And yeah, that right there is how to make Pluggnb beats like 30nickk and Goyxrd. I'm gonna play the full beat at the end of the video, but I think that's going to be about it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful or enjoyable, and if you did, please feel free to subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks again for stopping by. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, I'll see you soon.